Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the walk. Today is Friday, October 31st, and we've been talking about the letters within the word Ruach. All of this started because of that vision I had of sitting next to the fire with this old man. I'm very focused on the fire. The old man gets up and stirs the fire. He turns to me and he says, Ruach. So I started digging and I found some really cool things. Yesterday, we covered the meaning of the letter Vav, which is the middle letter in Ruach. Today, we're finishing up Vav. Hopefully, we'll get into some of the other letters. The next part is the Vav, Messiah, and New Creation. Again, this is coming from Hebrew for Christians website. When God first created the generations of the heaven and the earth, the word Toldat is used in Genesis 2:4. It refers to a created order before the sin and the fall of Adam and Eve. After the fall, however, the word is all of a sudden starting to be spelled differently in the Hebrew text, and it's missing letter Vav. There's a reason for this. Thereafter, each time the phrase, "these are the generations of," occurs in the scriptures, the word is spelled wrong and missing the Vav because the Vav was lost. What's the meaning in this? Well, it gets very interesting when you get into the book of Ruth. When you get to Ruth 4:18, the phrase, "these are the generations of Perez," is spelled with the missing Vav put back. So in Ruth, that Vav is all of a sudden back. Again, this is not a mistake. The rules for a scribe there were over 400 rules. If there was any errors, they buried it in a cemetery for messed up scrolls. In all of Scripture, the only two places when we see this restored spelling is in Genesis 2:4 and Ruth 4:18. And that leads us to the question of what's the connection, what connection there might be between heaven and earth, the fall of mankind, and the creation of the family line of Perez. Well, the name Perez means breach or to break through. God was going to break through the families of mankind in order to restore creation back to its original intent. So the Vav represents man, and the very first Vav in the Torah is associated with the first and the last man in Genesis 1:1. The restored Vav is a picture of who would descend from the generations of Perez. He would be the one to breach the gates of death on our behalf, just as the original Vav was lost through the Adam of his first sin. So the Vav is restored through the obedience of the second Messiah. Who is that? That is Jesus Christ. He's the one that restores it. So when you break down that phrase, "in the generations of," if you see it in Genesis 2:4, the Vav is there. If you see it in Ruth, where was it? 4:18, I had the right numbers in my head after all, I should have gone with it. It's there. But all those times in between that you see "in the generations of," that Vav is removed. Because it's not about the first Adam, it's not about the last Adam. And then when it happens in Ruth, that's the beginning of the line that goes all the way to the Messiah that's going to be mapped out in Matthew, in the Gospel of Matthew, when you get into the New Testament. Today's video is going to be a little bit on the short side. I don't want to start the next letter without having a full day to be able to get to it. So tomorrow we're going to look at the letter Chet, and then we're going to backtrack and go to that first letter of Resh. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk. Oh, I almost forgot. Today's Friday, so I won't be with you over the weekend. We'll get to chat on Monday. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.